Welcome to the Fort Myers Beach Good Neighbor Podcast. No shade, just sunshine, drama-free, positive vibes only. Each episode we bring you closer to the neighbors, local legends, and businesses that support the local community and make Fort Myers Beach the slice of paradise that we all love. We want to send out some island love to State Insurance USA, Snug Harbor, and Nervous Nellies. They are the good neighbors and businesses that allow us to share the soul of our community with every listener. Pull up a beach chair, grab a drink, and let's meet the people who make this island feel like home. Here's your host, Cabo Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors. Today we are introducing a new platform with a mission centered on early awareness and easier access to professional guidance about concerning skin spots, right? So it's called Skin Triage. And before we begin, it's important to explain that the platform is still in its onboarding stage. It's not yet providing services to consumers and is currently inviting qualified licensed providers to participate. Joining me today is bfrank, founder of Skin Triage. Barry, welcome.
Well, thank you. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, I'm excited to share with everybody what you've been working on. It's been years, right? Literally years, right?
Well, yeah, it actually did start many, many years ago, kind of primitively, before we had all of the equipment and ways of contacting people and sending and receiving messages. But now we have all of that and we are able to automate just about everything.
I love it.
As we go along, I'll explain the difference between how we do things and the importance of it.
Yeah, so let's begin with the basics. What is Skin Triage and who is it designed to help and why did you create it in the first place?
Well, first, I need to clarify that Skin Triage, what it is and what it's not. We are a technology and engagement platform. It's not a medical practice, and Skin Triage itself does not practice medicine. Okay, we are a technology platform. The platform is being built to connect people who have a concern about a spot, on their skin anywhere, with an independent licensed provider who can review the information asynchronously. The concept is very straightforward. The consumer uploads a photograph, and then there's an intake. They intake information through a secured HIPAA compliant portal, and the participating provider in that area does a submission, not anything other than something that is not a diagnosis. They are doing an assessment, and they recommended the next steps. The next steps can be for the person to call and have an interview with the dermatologist. They can take the result to their own healthcare professional. They can be sent by us to a local place for help, such as United Way and some of the other 501c3s that can help people of different means.
Very nice. So the goal is not to replace the dermatologist or any other qualified provider. It's basically to help take some get somebody informed, take that first step with something that may be concerning to them. So,
well, most definitely, there's probably there's 5 to 6 million people that are detected with some type of a skin problem, an issue, skin cancer of some type. Those are people that have dermatologists. Those are people who can afford to go to different places to have it looked at. These are people who have insurance. there are millions of people out there that um, even some people with the money and the means to do it don't do it because the spot on their skin that they're concerned about doesn't hurt. Maybe is in a place where you can't even see it. The bottom of your feet, their foot, on their back, on their head, where they don't see it on a regular basis. And they ignore it. And ignoring it is what we're trying to get them not to do. We need them to look at that, and we are promoting early awareness. That's what this is all about. And they're able to, instead of getting in, calling up, making an appointment with a dermatologist. It used to be where you had to go through your primary provider, and then they would refer you to a derm. And by the time you got in the office to find out if a spot that you were concerned about is even anything to worry about, it could cost you $200 to $1,000 by the time you get in there. And then there's the process, and there's a lot of people that won't have it checked because they're worried that even if they can afford the couple $100 for the um, what would be, they can't even call screening because insurance won't pay for screening at a dermatology office. It is an office visit. Um, so that's what we actually started this 4 years ago, was because there is no um, screening such as thermometers or blood pressure cuffs, which indicate that there's something wrong, but you go to your doctor to find out. But you know that if you're 200 over 100, you're going to explode. We just don't know when or exactly what is going to explode. So we found a way where people could, in the privacy of their own home, take an image, um, and they can take 3 different shots of it from an angle, so you can see if it's raised or distorted, and send it to the dermatologist directly. And that way we can get more people into dermatologists or have it taken care of and lessen the problem and the issues with it getting worse as time goes on. Most people wait until it's too late.
And it's all about that early awareness. There are concerns, and the earlier you catch it, the better you have a chance of doing something about it. But like you said, a lot of people don't know, they don't think about it until it actually becomes a problem. And that's what we're trying to avoid here, right?
Correct. Yes, that's right. We do not direct judgment. We don't make any medical decisions and diagnose the person. I keep saying that because federal we didn't necessarily know this until we got into our web app that we have out there, and we have a console that has looked and made the changes that we need on our web app to be federally compliant. There are 3 federal agencies that check on scammers and people who are not medically licensed and profession, that are doing things. And if if we were to make it sound like we are doing this, that we are screening, we are going to be out of compliance. So
Yep.
now we have had that taken care of. So totally compliant.
And there are other ways of doing this that are out there currently, and a lot of them kind of, I want to say lean towards, but a lot of them are using AI, right?
Well, yes, and um, AI is fantastic for a lot of things, but you never want to use AI for a medical decision or a legal. Um, AI will tell you that. Do not depend on it. As a matter of fact, statistics are that on medical judgment, they are 24% of the time wrong. And it's really important that some of the other, there are apps out there that you can do this, that dermatologists have set up. I do not know if they're compliant or not. I'm going to have to guess that they are, which just means that everything is secured, because regular emails and conversations are not that aren't restricted, that aren't private, tends to put you out of compliance. So I'm going to assume that they are. However, what they are doing is they're soliciting for patients, where you come onto their app, and they usually have pictures of different, maybe melanoma, um, squamous, um, basal cell, and you compare yours with theirs, and then you can call them, and then maybe for $59 they'll give you a video call back or an appointment of some kind. We wanted this to be a public service, and the closest that we could get to it being philanthropic in every way is the barrier to entry on a free opportunity to send a picture to a licensed dermatologist um, would entail a lot of people sending pictures of areas of their body, or dead animals, or whatever it may be, um, as a joke, or intentionally just being obnoxious. In order to cure that barrier, we do charge. There's a $9.99 in order to send the dermatologist three images of the same lesion, and they can do it 5 times. So basically, it's $2, and we are we know that will cut down, not everyone, because there are people that for $10 will have fun, but it's not perfect, but that cuts out a lot of that in the concern of the licensed professional.
Absolutely, absolutely. And not to joke about it, but it's, people actually have skin in the game per se. You know, it's
Very good, Jim.
so how does the process work? So say somebody has something of concern, they come across your app. What is the process from them starting? Taking a couple of pictures to them submitting it, and then getting in front of somebody who can diagnose. I would say diagnose, but look at that.
Certainly. First of all, we do not direct any of it. A person can come in, and according to zip code, the closest dermatologist in that zip code or area within 50 miles um, are allocated the lead at that point. Um, and it goes to, it rotates. If there's 3 dermatologists that are within that 50-mile area or whatever, it rotates and gives one to each one as um, their business comes up into our app. The person submits that, and they will get a reply that is, and I'm going to tell you a suggested reply. The dermatologist will give their own assessment and use their own verbiage, but I'm going to call it suspicious or not suspicious just for this interview. Okay. So if
Yep.
it's suspicious, what that means, and that it's clinically significant at this time to do a follow up as soon as you can. If it's not suspicious, it is not clinically sufficient for an immediate of immediate concern. However, if you were diligent enough and concerned enough to have it looked at, it would be important for you to every 3 to 6 months come back and do it again, and keep an eye on it. Whether you're going to the dermatologist or not, you can always get the dermatologist that you come through on the first one. And then instead of going into the office 3 or 6 months from then, go back in and use your second application and take 3 images of the same, and the dermatologist, it'll go to the same dermatologist, and they can say, well, this has changed in shape or color or size or whatever. We would suggest that you come in, or maybe make a video call, and they can discuss it and give you the options. And as I said, that there are going to be some people that have avoided it because of expense, or they didn't have any dermatologists in their area, of which we can get them to the closest one, hopefully. But there's always some type of um, um, company out there that believes in this and is able to offer a way to help. Um, they will check to see if you have any kind, or if you're eligible for any kind of um, insurance of different sorts. It can be anywhere from um, Blue Cross to any of the
Nonprofits or charities out there, right? Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, then we can we send them to the nonprofits,
Yep.
and in their area, and it has worked. I worked with them years ago when I first started this, before we were able to put it electronically, when
So
we were
let's
in brick and mortar.
so let's back up that story a little bit. So this isn't something you just thought of overnight. It's not something that just popped up recently. As we mentioned earlier, you've been working on this for a lot of years. And it
Okay,
started back out near Arizona, right?
it did, and actually, the first submission that I did was June 1st of 2000.
Wow.
I have, fortunately, Hurricane Ian took almost everything that I had, but I was left with one file um, from um, Skin Triage, of which it was called something else at the time, um, and it had some of the submissions and some of the background that we have. But that was 26 years ago. And I started with the University of Arizona, and the chief of dermatology. And we actually, I got started in it, if you want me to explain that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I had a franchise system that I had in high-end spas. This was at the turn of the century. Um, and I had, I think it was 7 in 4 states. And in all of them, I had estheticians working, and there was a nurse, or at least a nurse in everyone also. And I would visit them, and I would also every couple months I would have the managers or different people come in, and we discuss what's going on there. But also, at least once a month, I toured and went around to each one, and talked to people. Uh, and I saw that there were a lot of these, mostly women, that we did, although we did laser hair removal and things like that. A lot of men had that done. But anyway, I would see them coming in with blemishes, And I asked, what are they doing about that? And they said, well, most of the women want that covered up. And I said, well, I'm nowhere near a doctor, and I have trouble opening a Band-Aid. So I don't know that much about it, but I do know that it can. There are cancerous lesions and tumors that you can have on your body, and if we're covering them up, you guys are licensed. You need to tell these people to go get screened. And everybody jumped all over me. There is no screening. And I said, come on. Yeah, there is. Nope, you have to go to a dermatologist or healthcare professional at least. And if there's something that's wrong or suspicious, they're going to send you to a dermatologist because they're the only ones that can actually do the surgeries. Anyway, and by the way, at a future time, I may tell you a little bit more about there are some other than actual surgery that you can have melanomas removed or have concerns removed without cutting.
Very good. Very good. No, looking forward. I mean, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be sharing some more in future episodes. But really excited about what you have going on here. What's one thing you would say to someone who has a spot they've been watching, but keeps putting it off for one reason or another? What would you tell them?
It's really not worth it because the chances are that it probably is not going to be, because there's about the statistic that's published, not something I've come up with, is that 1 in 5 people in the U.S. Are going to detect a skin cancer of some kind in their lifetime. Now, it usually does not develop to a something that could actually take your life. And I'm saying usually, and this is not something that I know or that I'm telling you is a fact. This is from my research, and it's from what has already been printed. Okay, I'm not doing this as a doctor. I am not medically. And I got to keep saying that to keep myself compliant and our company compliant. And if you wait too long, it does develop into something. And if it gets, if it does get to a malignancy, the statistic that I have seen and that we have probably reprinted from cancer societies are that once it becomes malignant, you are 1 to 5 years you have. And once again, it usually takes a long time for that to happen. Not all the time. It can happen really quickly and overcome you. But what I'm saying, and the question was, what do I suggest? And that is, if you have insurance and you're ignoring it, go and take care of it. If you have the means to see somebody and a professional to give you an analysis of it, go do that. But if nothing else, come on to skintriage.org, and for $9.99 you can get that satisfied. So if you're curious about anything like that, go ahead and do it. We are the only ones that I know of, and the reason that we're doing it now, and I come back to do it, is because 26 years ago there was no screening for it, and I thought I could provide a screening, but I can't. So we are not screening. We are getting people to a place where they can get screened, to a professional, and we're doing it for almost a public service. And that's what we're all about.
Very good. I appreciate what you're doing. So you mentioned the website. If people want to learn more, they can go there. Is there any place else they can get some more information on you?
Well, we are. It's actually that is a web app, and we did that instead of just having an app. Once you put screentriage.org in your URL, all you have to do is put skin in there, probably, unless you're got other things that are start with skin, and it'll pop up, and everything is in there, all about us, all the steps that you can take, what's going to happen, how to do it, even how to take the pictures. There'll be a short interview on there to help the dermatologist know approximately, how many times you've had a sunburn, and where you live, an age group, things like that, where it is on your body. And then they can use all of that to determine, besides the image, they have a background of things that they can be more as accurate as possible.
Very good, very good, Barry. I appreciate what you're doing. It's very needed, especially nowadays, and it's helping a lot of people. I'm excited to see where this takes you, and in helping people. That's all we're trying to do, is help people and get them the help and awareness that they need. So again, appreciate everything you're doing. Any last words for our listeners today?
Well, yeah, I think everybody should know that what you're doing for as basically a public service is you are helping people like me who are trying to help people. You're helping me get the word out to people. You're showing a concern every bit as much as we are. And they should appreciate you for what you're doing. And they don't have to appreciate us. They just have to go and do. We think we're doing the right thing, and they need to do the right thing for themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Well,
Thank
Barry,
you.
it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being, as I say, such a good neighbor. And I look forward to upcoming episodes as well. We'll share some more information about where we're going and what we're doing. All right.
And we will. Thanks so much, Jim.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning into the Fort Myers Beach Good Neighbor podcast. No shade, just sunshine, drama-free, positive vibes only. If you loved what you heard, share it with a friend and keep the good vibes going. Until next time, remember to Cabo until you wabo and keep being a good neighbor. Also, to nominate your favorite neighbors, local legends, heroes, or local businesses to be on the show, go to fmbgoodneighbor.com. That's fmbgoodneighbor.com, or call 239-427-4100. We want to send out some island love to State Insurance USA, Snug Harbor, and Nervous Nellies. They are the good neighbors and businesses that allow us to share the soul of our community with every listener. Here's to celebrating all that makes Fort Myers Beach, the slice of paradise we all love.